One of the best thing to watch in the crypto market after a long period of time. That's XRP trying to push higher. XRP breaking through this pattern and bouncing higher. So you got to retest, you got to bounce. That's good. Now, yes, we'll have to see what the whales decide, because usually when XRP breaks higher, what happens? This guy, Bitcoin, that drops. So it is showing there is still a possibility it may do that. But at this point in time, you have massive buying power on the other end for Bitcoin. So maybe that's going to be a micro drop and the dominance is dropping like nuts. This means huge things for the alt market. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We are watching different assets hitting through our targets, the short-term target, the medium target. There's a lot of it. We were following the Bitcoin dominance. By the time it was getting rejected, we were taking on different trades, understanding where the opportunities are and looking for possible setups. And right now, this is what the market is doing. Remember, if you have watched this channel for at least last 1 week, you already knew all of this. We talked about Watch Pepe, Shib, Doge, Floki, all of those, because all of those are meme coins. And I even showed you guys the chart saying watch as soon as the FOMO starts, it should be on the meme coin side. And right now you're watching all of them running crazy, 50% up for the day. That's not a small deal. Now, what's happening in the market? This is a big thing to keep in mind. Bitcoin dominance is dropping lower. All coins are getting more cash flow in. It is an interesting time to be in this market. We were going through a lot of different trades, and by today we have done 10x of the trading bag in Binance. That's a great move to watch. And it was not in a day. It took like 5 months plus. But it was patience. It was a lot of discipline. Right now, if you're in the market, you're watching things turn, and things turn for good. So XRP is showing you positive signs, and not just on the daily. We'll go through the higher time frame structure, which is interesting. And then you look at XLM, which is the highly correlated asset. Again, another breakout, and it is starting to move higher. And when you enter the daily, you're watching them entering the overbought territory. When the daily, the 3-day, and the weekly does that, it's super interesting. Now, yes, for XLM, RSI is still below the overbought territory on a 3-day, but for XRP, you are trying to push so close into it. And I'm like, okay, that really looks good. The daily is already in that. You're pushing through that. 3-day is about to enter. Weekly is like bouncing. Look at the MACD. So I believe that the payments as an industry is starting to go back up. Remember, we talked through this. A break of the moving average should give you some volume. Now, here we are starting to get decent volume, which we haven't seen for some time. And what's more interesting here, with this weekly candle, we still have 1 day to go, but as of now, if you look at this, it's like 49 days. Now, 56 days. Whoa, we are almost erasing last 56 days of negative sentiment, of slowdown, of that low momentum phase. And Bitcoin is still consolidating. Now, remember, that guy actually did a big run, so it's kind of taking a breather. That's okay. But as soon as you slowly move out, you get to see like, okay, wait for a moment. This price action shows you euphoric movement to the upside, but as of now, the RSI is still here. What does that really mean? I mean, we don't have a weekly close. I agree here at this point. And when you zoom in, you're just a little bit above that for sure. But when you do get the weekly, you want to see what's happening. One, yes, it's making a higher high there. Two, you actually got this candle already showing you the divergence. So you got one there, The 2 is showing you don't have that amount of strength in the RSI compared to the price. So weakness is starting to enter there, which is a good thing. And that's one of the primary reason why you're seeing this. Now, for us, the key thing, we want to see the Bitcoin dominance breaking through this back into this range. Now, that's what we would like to see. Now, what the market is going to give us, we'll wait there and see. But one of the positive thing, thinking about the same aspect of, okay, can we break this to the downside, is even XRP moving. Meaning it's a large cap altcoin. So the moment these guys moves, you'll actually see others like Ether moving. And they are already running up. So when you have the Ether, when you have the XRP, when you have Cardano, all these others moving up, say XLM, now if you want to take in smart contracts like Cardano, you can take them. And what you're watching here is all of them are breaking through. Now, we had all these set up. If you've been watching this channel at least for the last 4 or 5 months, we've reiterated this phase. We went through this crazy repetition because I strongly believed this phase, that's what we were going through. Wow. And right now, time has proved that we were right. When a lot of people were calling for the downside, we talked about this to the upside. Now we saw that. What next? That's what's happening. Now, literally, we're going through a lot of different trades because the market is showing you an enormous opportunity. Let me say this to you, honest and being frank. Don't take this negative. If you don't make money in next 2 to 3 months, at least in this market, the crypto market, it's going to be super hard for you to make money in any financial markets because this is an area where the market cycle is tilting and tilting fast. What do I mean? You come back here, you can actually go into a total market cap, whether you want to exclude Ether or not, it doesn't matter. At this point, it's literally showing you the move here. So you were coming down, perfect, fine. So the price action dropped here. Then you consolidated in this territory. That was very, very painful. But after that, you're now going up. So it's an easy path because if you go back in time and you follow this, we have seen these kind of things before. We have gone through this. If you have been in the market for that long, you know that's happening. You literally understand the fact that this is the phase we are in. This is the opportunity I'm talking about. That's a blow through which is coming in. And the ROI structure here in the alt market is going to be exceptional. You'll actually watch the general market moving up like 5x. But on the other end, you will actually watch 50 to 100x movement. In different assets, obviously, you'll need the small cap to the micro to the medium, everything in your portfolio so that you can get the average. Because if you just stick on with one asset, and if that's a large cap asset, yeah, for sure, you're not actually even getting anywhere close to those big numbers. Unless there is some super heavy change happening in the market. Now, one of those assets where the TA gets invalidated at times is XRP. Whether it's to the downside, whether it's to the upside, that always happens. But it's about the volatility. Meaning, if we think it's going to do 100%, sometimes this guy do 500. We have seen those in the past. Now, when we say it can drop 10%, this guy literally drops 30. So, on that point, keep in mind, you're now trying to break through this. A break there is positive. Now we go on the low noise chart and it is showing us the fact that we are trying to break through as of now, which is a good thing. You get to see momentum increase after that. We know the measured move. We've been talking about that for the last few videos here. So while the dominance drops, we would like to see some of the large caps bursting. That allows the dominance to break back into this territory. And as that happens, you'll see a lot more action in the altcoin market. Now, for sure, you can actually include Ether into this and look at what the entire market is about to do. Because the euphoric phase, it doesn't happen every now and then. But when it happens, there is a psychological shift, a psychological range. Now the altcoin market is about $1 trillion. How's that for the starting, right? Because think about it. The entire crypto market was like $1 trillion maybe a few months back. And right now, just the altcoin market is like $1 trillion. And you're watching the total crypto market approaching $2.5 trillion. And it's just getting started here in the altcoin market. You have thousands, tens of thousands of coins which are preparing to launch. And for some reason, for some of these coins, when they run up like crazy, you don't have too much fundamentals behind them. It's meme coin. And you're confused. Why the hell is this bursting? And that's why I say always look at the market sentiment. That matters a lot. See, if you are TA is basic TA, you'll still get to see all of those showing you those enormous figures coming in, right? There was a breakout of this range and it was going through the roof. Now, when you do look at this, you're like, whoa, 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 that is blowing through. The volume is following through. Now, if you go into SHIB, for that matter, and you look at this, you're like, whoa, that's a long-term chart. And what you're watching here is that the breakout, retest, and a bounce brought in a lot more volume. See this? Boom. That's a huge change in the market, which is happening all the way from 2022. So after the Terra Luna crisis, this is when you're getting this amount of volume coming back into the market. Benefit of these coins, the meme coins popping, is it kind of gets attention. The media, the market, the new guys, the retail, everyone notices this. Whoa, that's 100% move for the week. Whoa, that's a 50% move for the day. And it's just getting started. So when these guys actually start running, you just need some discipline. You just need some patience. Once you get the breakout in your horizon, maybe you are a guy who trades on an hourly chart. Maybe you are someone who waits for a 3-day chart. Whichever figure you fit into, take your asset, ride it till there is a negative divergence on that same horizon. If you're taking a trade on an hourly, oh sure, you need to be on the hourly chart. But if you're taking a trade on a weekly and you're following a 4-hour chart for your exit, that won't work. So that's one of the primary reasons why I say understand the language of this land. Which land? Land of the candlesticks. That gives you enormous ability. Now, when you actually zoom a little bit out in XRP chart, what can we see? Because this is a big question to ask yourself at this time. On a monthly, XRP is starting to show you it's not just erasing last 2 months. At this point, if you go back on a monthly, you're kind of halfway through for last 200 days. Isn't that amazing? At least for me it is. That 2 candle here, that's erasing that. And this monthly, it's just starting. So imagine, maybe I'm wrong, but imagine this monthly candle just go through this one. Now, it's not a sky high number, it's just 0.85. But what would that do to the price? The price at that time would be back up for 852 days. That's a long time, guys. That's a long time. That's where you will see those changes. What do I mean? You take these numbers and you go back 800 days. This is what I'm talking about. You get big movements after that. And those big movements back then was without much of an exchange participation. You literally had everyone else delisting this asset. Right now, you have all of them relisting this asset. And as soon as the FOMO kicks in, the hypers, they help us a lot. They'll put in numbers like 10,000, 100,000, blah, 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 blah. And the new retail guys would think that's true and buy. Even when the price is at $10, $20, $30, $100, they'll still buy it. Why? Because they believe this is going to 100,000. This is going to a $10,000. But for us, for anyone who bought at 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, wherever your average is, if it's below $1, that's perfect. Because at $10, you're already 10x. Now, if your average is 0.3, great. You're 30x at that time, right? So you need to know where you stand in this market. Not where the market is going. Yes, that's important. But you need to know where you have to take profit. Because that's completely based on your portfolio. If you bought at $1 and the price is 10, and you're watching someone saying, okay, I'm now 30x in XRP, and you're like, you're only 8x, that's your trouble, right? So you need to know where your exits should be. And that's one of the reasons why in the SI family, with thousands of members, we go through all of that. In the one-on-one sessions, we break things down into detail as much as possible for all the assets you have. Now, if you have 100 assets, yeah, we'll go through 90% in volume, right? Not the numbers. But we try to give that amount of value. If you want to join them, look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, in YouTube, or in the bio on Twitter. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.